So I was asked this question and it touched me. It really did touch me, and I wanted to talk about it because I don't think that enough people talk about this. So I wanted to discuss this topic, and you guys can tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Can a woman abuse a man? That's our topic for today. So I am Queen Osset Haru. Thank you for joining me for this heavy topic. And let me see. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Hit the red subscribe button. Hit the bell next to it. Please give this video a thumbs up and pass it on to anybody and everybody who might need to see this. Please drop us a positive comment in the comment section. And if you would like to get a reading done, hit me up. I am a card shark. All my information is underneath this video. Okay? All right, so can a woman abuse a man? A long time ago, if somebody had said this to me, I'd be like, no, not at all. But I've lived a little since then, okay? And I really do think anybody can abuse anybody, male, female, woman, man. I've seen it all over the years of like doing social work, doing education, doing readings. I have seen people get abused in situations where I was very like not expecting it. For example, a woman can abuse a man physically, emotionally, and mentally. If a woman is bigger than a man, that's easy. She can just be beating him up. But I've also seen situations like I knew this guy and his girlfriend would get mad at him and she would just attack him. She would scratch him, scratch his face, smack him. One time she threw bleach on him. She would just, go off on this guy. And the guy could have whooped her ass, but he was the kind of man that I really respect that believes in not hitting a woman. I mean, I don't even hit women. I date women. A lot of you know that, and I've never hit my women. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it because of the balance of power. So if I'm so much large, most of my women, I was larger than them, or I was more masculine than them. Okay, so I'm very feminine presenting, but I'm very aggressive. So I don't believe in hitting another person, especially when the balance of power is off, period. If it's a fair fight, I still don't recommend it. I don't think you should be fighting in your home. But as far as a woman abusing a man, it does happen. So like in that case with the female I was talking about, she would scratch him, pour bleach on him. She was definitely abusing him, and he didn't believe in hitting women, so he would never hit her back. He would leave, he would push her off him, he would do things like that, and the abuse just escalated to he ended up leaving. He got his stuff and he left. But the point of the matter is that, yeah, a lot of people think that a woman can't abuse a man. Now, a lot of men, also, this is another thing, a lot of men will not report the abuse. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, I don't see statistics on men getting abused very frequently. I didn't look it up to see. It could or could not be there. But I guarantee you it's underreported. No matter how many are there, I guarantee you a lot more happen. And the reason why is because I knew a man. I'll tell you about this guy. This guy was talking to me about his woman. Now, his woman and him would get into physical altercations, and they would really fight each other. Well, on several of these occasions, she really lumped him up. She busted him in the head with a frying pan one time. He had a knot out to here. I mean, he got beat up a few times. And the one time that he went to the police about what happened, the cop was like very nonchalant. He said, I wasn't there, but he said the cop was very nonchalant about it and basically, came off to him like he was a pussy for even reporting it, you know? And I was like, wow, what kind of message does that give to a man who's being abused? And I mean, yeah, he can push her off him, he can fight her back, he can do any of those things. But when he goes to report it, then other, people, other men in this case, treat him like, he's a moron, for coming and reporting it. So I'm sure a lot of men who are in this situation would not report it. And then other men, they're not physically abused at all, but they're emotionally abused. Have you ever seen a man who is so nagged and so henpecked that he just doesn't even respond? I've seen that a number of times, you know. And you've seen it mostly on movies. I remember there was a movie called The Witches of Eastwick, and it was with Jack Nicholson, Cher, Michelle Pfeiffer was in it. I mean, it was like all Susan Sarandon. It was like all these stars in the cast. And I remember one of the couples. They weren't very famous. The wife was abusing the crap out of her husband, but it was all verbal and emotional, tearing him down, telling him he wasn't shit, telling him he was never going to be a man. You know, she was just tearing him down, and all with the mouth, never even touched him. And that is abuse too. Verbally and emotionally tearing somebody down all the time, not even all the time, period, is abuse. So I see a lot of women who have done that to their husbands or to their boyfriends. Yeah, it happens. It happens both ways, actually, but we always talk about abused women. We talk about why didn't they leave, you know? We talk about why they allowed themselves to be abused or whatever the case is. But we never talk about the same thing with men. And like I said, there are a lot of men who are in this situation. And in The Witches of Eastwick, he was so henpecked that eventually he killed her. Now, in their case, it was a little bit more to it. I think she was bewitched or something. So it was a little bit of magic to it, to why she was, not to why she was abusing him, but to why he ended up killing her. There was some magical hocus pocus going on. But the abuse happened from the beginning. Like as soon as you're introduced to this couple, she's already abusing him. So my thing is that yeah, a woman absolutely can abuse a man in those ways. And that's why I say anybody can abuse anybody. Sometimes a person, like for example, if your wife is a narcissist, let's go there. I know somebody whose ex-wife is a complete narcissist, and she's basically been abusing him for their entire relationship. Just, you know, gaslighting him, stuff like that. That kind of stuff is abuse. But once again, when it's a woman being abused, everybody comes out the woodwork. You know, I know me, I defend women at every cost. But we don't ever think about men. So my thing to you is, number one, do you know any men who are being abused? Do they recognize it as abuse? And are they doing anything about it? Because I've come to find that most men shut off. I have a good buddy who was like really, really abused in his family. Mom, father, friend, brothers, sisters. He was always like, you know, the whipping board of the whole family. So whenever a woman, he's single, whenever a woman he's dating someone starts to argue with him or yell at him, I noticed that he just shuts down. He doesn't even respond. He just kind of withdraws into himself, and then he stops seeing the woman. So I think that's one of those cases where he's been abused by everyone, and then when he even gets yelled at, you know, it triggers him, and he can't even stay in the relationship. So let me know if you know any of these kinds of situations, and what do you think? Because at the end of the day, I do think this is a conversation we need to have. And these men, like, because of the fact that, you know, people are like, oh, you know, you're a wuss. You know, you're getting your wife is abusing you in any kind of way. You're a wuss. And that's not true. That's absolutely not true. Because number one, if she's emotionally or mentally abusing him, like I said, you can do that to anybody. And if it's physical abuse, it might not be that. It could just be like he doesn't want to fight her. He might not want to hit her. He might not want to go to jail. You know, he might not want to be that person, you know, but he has a partner who likes to hit. And I would like to say, if you are a woman who is abusing someone, there's help for that. The same way there's help for male abusers, there's help for female abusers. There's anger management, and there's all kinds of therapeutic services. So it's up to you to recognize that in yourself and work on it. I don't believe a woman should put her hands on a man any more than a man should put his hands on a woman. And that goes for same-sex relationships too. I know a lot of lesbian couples who think it's okay to beat each other up. And I'm like, nah, just because y'all two women, and maybe you're the same size, or maybe you're the same stature, One time, I told you guys this story before. One time I was at the gas company, right? Philadelphia Gas Works. And I was sitting there, and there was a line. There was like several lines for different things. And then you had to sit in this little area if you had to see a specialist. So I was doing like payment arrangements. So I was sitting there waiting to see the payment arrangement specialist. This lesbian couple walked in holding hands, okay? Got in line, one of the other lines, and I was just sitting there looking at them. So I'm, I'm looking at my phone or doing something else. And out of the corner of my eye, I see one of them hit the other one. So I look up and they start brawling. I mean, like throwing hands at each other. And one of them was real feminine, and one of them was really not feminine, feminine presenting. So the feminine one had a wig on. Her wig fell off her head, y'all, hit the floor, and she's still scrapping. And they was scrapping. It wasn't like one of them was getting the better of the other one. It was like a boxing match. It was like two well-matched prize fighters, okay? And they were going in. And security came. And security came and, took them out or whatever the case is. And I remember having conversations with people about this, and people seem to think it's okay. Wait a minute. I just moved the camera. Sorry, guys. People seem to think it's okay because it's two women or it's two men. Like, oh, that's fine. No, it's not fine. It's still dysfunctional as hell. You shouldn't be abusing or fighting, whatever you want to call it, your partner. Period. Your home's supposed to be a safe space. I'm going to tell you guys this. And every therapist I've ever talked to or read about online will tell you your home should be a safe space. If you are fist fighting or emotionally fighting, mentally fighting with your partner, your home is not a safe space. So the idea is to figure out why and fix it. Okay? And some of these are fixable easier than others, but anything you want to work on is worth it. So let me know what you guys think. Sarah Summers. Hey, Sarah. Sarah said, me and my Aquarius boyfriend finally broke up a week ago. It was a long time coming, but he ended it. Why is he still texting and calling every day? Well, that sounds like codependency. I'm going to tell you two things. It sounds like codependency. It sounds like he's okay with it being over, but he's still, connected to you. But another thing I'm going to tell you, he's still texting and calling because you're still answering. Okay? And Aquarius, we got a lot of audacity. We got a lot of audacity. So if you keep answering, you keep responding, we're going to keep texting and calling. So if you really want him to leave you alone, stop responding. Block him. Block him if you got to. If he won't stop, if you ask him politely, hey, can you stop texting and calling me? This relationship is over. I'm trying to work through my feelings. And he keep on doing it. Guess what? Your block buttons work. Your block buttons work very well. Block him and move on. Because, yeah, there's a codependency probably going on with him. But also, like I said, people can only do what you allow them to do. I've had this happen to me many times. People have said this to me a lot. They'll be like, why my Aquarius still calling me? Why this one still texting me? Why this one doing that? Because you allowing it. Why my ex-boyfriend still calling me? He got a girlfriend. Because you responding. That's why. It's very simple. It's like they might have their own emotional reason for doing it, but the bottom line to it is that you're allowing the behavior. So as long as you're allowing the behavior, expect those phone calls and text messages. When you get tired of the behavior, I think you'll stop it. Luz Lopez. What's up, Luz? My girl. Luz said, Johnny Depp has had a drinking and drug abuser for years. Oh, he's been alcohol and drug abuser. Okay, for years. Okay. He was also jealous, too. He used to date Jennifer Grey, too. Oh, Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing. That was my movie. I did hear about that. Luce, you're 100% correct. As a matter of fact, Johnny testified as much. Johnny admitted that. He didn't lie about that. He didn't lie about that. Other people have said that too. Um, him being jealous, I don't know if he's jealous, but I can believe it. That doesn't sound like out of the realm of possibility. But yeah, I had this video she's talking about is the one I did about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They had an ugly court battle. So if you didn't see that one, guys, check that one out under my videos. That was a pretty interesting video. But the bottom line is, and I said this before the court case ended, and I was 100% correct. The way that the court case ended was exactly what I said. The court found them both guilty, and that's what I told y'all. I told y'all she was more guilty, but he was guilty too, and the courts agreed with me. They gave him a much larger settlement than her, but they both got a settlement on their claims. That means the judge and the jury, or whoever it was, agreed that both of them had been inappropriate, but that she was more inappropriate than him. So my assessment was correct on that one. Because, like I said, neither one of them was an angel. I could see that from the beginning of the trial. I was like, oh, he wildin'. Oh, she wildin' worse. You know? So, yeah. All right, guys. It's time for us to get going. You come back soon because I got a lot more to say. See you later.